podcast is brought to you by Air Care One, Worldwide Air Ambulance Services. Call now.
Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from up in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bull Eagle J. Roos. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kelly and Andy McPhee.
Yeah. So, what are your hobbies that you do?
Play guitar, and I like to spend most of my time, doing that if I'm not doing anything else. I love hiking and fishing, and well, I hate fishing actually, but my son loves fishing. And there is something about watching your kid not just enjoy something, but being able to relax and really take everything in, that I can go out and take him fishing and I can just watch him fish for hours.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, Mom and I went to Oregon a few years ago for the first time, and we went on a sea fishing trip, and we caught a lot of them. We caught us. We basically just caught only sea bass, and
oh, okay.
we caught like 30 of them, and then we caught one ling cod. And then I had a very big catch that I ended up losing just because the pole wasn't designed for it, but we think it was either a halibut or a tuna.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
Was
it caught the hook, and then I was trying to pull it in, but the pole was bending like this, and that's when I knew that there was no chance. And then a split second later, snap.
uh,
Yeah. Have you ever been ocean fishing before?
I have many times. I get seasick. So when I go fishing, it has to be during the day because if you can't see the horizon, there's no way of steadying yourself. And so, if it's during the day, you just look out at the horizon and, everything, in your brain or whatever kind of normalizes. And you can't go shark fishing during the day. So things like that, were horrible. I've experienced awful time shark fishing.
Is it because you needed a bigger boat?
No, because I was really seasick.
Yeah, one year, Mom, Dad, and Harrison and I went to San Diego, and it was our last family trip before their divorce. And we went to San Diego and saw SeaWorld, and we drove cross country. So we went from Florence through Yuma, Arizona, and then across the Mexican border until we reached San Diego. And we stayed at the condo residence in Pacific Beach called Capri by the Sea. You ever heard of it?
I don't recall, but I did live in Pacific Beach, so we were really
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, it was quite close to the area. We went to the pier. That's sort of where we were at, was that pier that goes into the ocean that you can, yeah. So we went there and then and then we went whale watching. And I remember that seasick feeling because it was sort of cloudy at first. And Mom captured a picture before giving me like a Tylenol or a Benadryl where I was like so seasick that I was ready to throw up. And it was like, that's what I looked like. And the image was like, I have it somewhere. I should show it to you one of these days. So, saw a
Yeah,
lot of whales.
nice. Well, if you ever go out there again, the Crystal Pier where you guys were at,
Yeah.
there's this restaurant called Kona's right next to it. And it's the best breakfast you're going to have in all of San Diego.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind. I remember seeing that sign, I believe, but I didn't know what it was back then. We did go to San Diego a couple times afterwards, but that was just me and my mother. And then one trip we took a very lengthy trip to San Diego in 2016 where I made a whole documentary about the experience. And that was mainly because we were wrapping up the year good after, the divorce. And so we were looking for a way to start anew. And so we took a trip to San Diego. Mom and I did, and I made a whole film about it, which is on my earlier videos on YouTube. Got a very nice sunset, and then I didn't realize until this moment that I had the prospect of turning something simple into comedy because while we were at the beach right when the sun was about to set, I did a scene for the video where basically I encountered some tiny quail birds, I believe they were, you know, those ones that go across the beach and all that. So I decided to do something simple, which was get an image of, or get a video of mom, no, get a video taken by mom of me walking up to the birds in an attempt to interact with them. And so what came out of it was the way it played out was I walked up to the birds and all of them sort of scattered, and then one bird walked the other way. And as I followed it a little bit, it then came back off screen, but then came back on screen to follow its herd. And I was just doing this.
Mm.
And so, and then what happened was when I got the video, I put a voiceover of me saying, check out the birds over here. Watch me as I try to make peace with them. I showed the video to my folks afterwards, and when they got to that scene, like Grandma Lady and Luli and my mother, they were dying with laughter by the voiceover and with how the video played out. And I was like, "What are you guys laughing at?" And then they told me that scene with the birds was really, really funny. And when I was like, "In what way?" And then I looked at it, and they explained it, and I was like, "Oh, I see." That's what
Well,
led me into the entertainment route with trying to humor people while doing my video blogging, you know?
well, the world is so crazy. A person can almost just have a video camera out at any given point and find something crazy anymore.
Yeah, yeah, you know, I know that from experience as well, because you know already at this point, but I'm a motorsports fan, and for a while I was always going to those NASCAR races at PIR, and sometimes I was lucky or unlucky enough to capture moments that I wasn't expecting, such as Paul Menard hitting the wall in turn one, and then, you know, seeing Corey LaJoy break a piston with the noise in the background, you know,
Ooh.
on camera, and then seeing him go into the pits. So, yeah, you're always lucky if you capture some pretty decent photos and videos in the world that you weren't expecting, you know. What are some examples of adventures you've had with hiking? Have you ever been to Long's Peak or summited Flat Top Mountain or any of that?
I haven't summited Flat Top. I was going to go to Long's Peak one time and we had it all set up because it's only a 3 week season when you can actually get up there in the year, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just got sick as could be. And I was sick the day that we were supposed to go, so I didn't go. And honestly, I don't regret it because it's a really hard hike. But I have hiked almost most of the mountains, I would say, in the national park, as well as all the mountains in between Estes Park and, say, Loveland and Fort Collins. Like I have hiked most of northern Colorado.
That's amazing. I almost summited Flat Top in 2010 with my mom and cousin Jenny, although we were like 300 feet away from the summit, but a blizzard forced us back. And then those who don't know, Long's Peak is the highest mountain in the Estes Valley and is basically Mount Everest for Estes. Would that be the best description for it?
Yeah, it's huge, but not only is it huge, the backside of it, right before you get to the top,
Hmm.
is dangerous. It's narrow and icy, and it looks scary even from the pictures.
Yeah. I remember that you have to go through that tiny hole in the
Yeah, you go
wall called the keyhole, and then from then on, it's not hiking, it's technical aspect.
climb. Yeah. Yeah. And if people get caught there at the wrong time of year, like if you're second or third week in August and it's already frozen, it's a long ways down if you fall.
Hmm. Yeah, and usually there's no coming back from that unless you're really lucky.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's a lot of luck. I think there's a
No.
lot of people every year that, have issues there.
Yeah, for sure.
Please call Air Care 1 for worldwide air ambulance services. Brought to you by R&U.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia, saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Cheers!